Hi, my name is Robert. Please read the comments in the About section of this video. It has valuable information and updates. My YouTube channel has a disclaimer video that I encourage you to watch. And please like, share, and subscribe. I hope you found what you're looking for. Thank you very much for watching. Alright, it's work day 3 with this vehicle. Trying to get some headway on some of the major things today. First thing I'm going to do today is cut the driver's lights off. As you can see on the switch, it's in 12 o'clock position, and it needs to be turned down to the, I guess the top of it needs to be over here near the 10 o'clock position to get the driver's lights to be off while the vehicle is being driven. So you put the screwdriver on there, push it in, turn it counterclockwise a little bit. Next, I'm going to replace this turbo intercooler hose from the top that goes down to the throttle body. Hopefully that will bring my boost back, because right now I'm not boosting anything. Have that turbo hose replaced. This one was really nasty, especially on the inside. I guess that explains why they had so much tape around it. That hose was totally deteriorated. And man, these hoses probably cost $60, $70. So anyway, I got a good used one on there. We should be good to go. While I'm driving around, every time I put on the brake, I get an indication that I have a brake light out. So I'm going to see which brake light is out. Take a broomstick handle or something like it and wedge it on the brake pedal there, and you go back and you see what brake light is out, and it looks like this brake light here is out. So let me get a bulb and replace that one. Open up the trunk, come on the inside, and you turn these little handles here, and this little panel will pull in, and it looks like somebody's piggybacked something on the light, maybe the tow hitch wiring. At any rate, once you're in here, you reach over here, you pull in the tab, and that unlocks the whole assembly, and the bulb's whole assembly comes into you here, and then you have access to all of the bulbs. And the one that I'm having an issue with is this one, so I turn it out and look at it, see if it's blown. It has a hot spot on the bulb, but it doesn't look like the element's blown. So what I could do is get an ohm meter, put it on the inside and on the outside, and see if I have any ohms readings on that bulb. With my ohm meter testing the bulb, it indicates that I have a good bulb. So I'm going to put it back in that socket. Maybe something's going on with the socket or with the wiring. Reapplied the brake. The light wasn't on. I came back here, wiggled the bulb around in the socket. It seemed to have locked in the socket. Now it's working. So I didn't need a new bulb. I needed to mess with the socket. So you may want to pull that bulb out, spray some contact cleaner in there, then some dielectric grease, and put that bulb back in, and it's good to go. While trying to put a light assembly back in here, I noticed it wouldn't seat properly because it actually latches on both sides. I noticed there's a bulb down here which is in the position of the rear fog light that is not supposed to be there, and inside the vehicle you can see where that bulb was pressing and burning the plastic that Volvo designed to block that from happening. So let me turn the key on and see if that light bulb lights up as a rear fog light. Okay, I put the key on. I turn on the rear fog light switch. Now we walk back to the back of the car, and there's supposed to be one light that's on as a rear fog light. Let me turn the lights on because they only work when the lights are on. So as I come back here, I don't see any lights on at all. So let me see what's going on. Oh, the ignition is bad. Let me turn the key back a little bit so my lights work. I hadn't replaced that ignition switch yet. There it is. Now it's showing my rear fog light switch on there. As you can see, The car is supposed to have a bright light on the driver's side only, which is here. And since somebody wanted to be smart and put a bulb in there, this would actually look like the brakes was on, which is what you don't want. So you only should have a rear fog light on the driver's side, not the passenger side. So I'm going to remove that bulb. And in here on the dash, you can see the rear fog light illumination there, letting you know that the rear fogs are on. So let me cut this off, remove that bulb, and install that assembly. With that bulb removed, everything went back together nice and easy. And now I have a spare bulb that's probably a good bulb for a brake light that I'll toss in the glove box. Next, I'm going to pull the steering wheel collar and replace the ignition switch. I'm also going to replace the steering wheel, and I'm not going to disconnect the battery, so I will trip the SRS light. Then I'll test my tool and see if it'll reset the SRS light. So remove the collar, remove the steering wheel, replace the ignition switch, put everything back together, and see how it looks. Okay, I got my brake light warning again, so I need to check that bulb one more time, try to get it in there better. Well, I couldn't find my T15 to get this collar loose, so I took a lunch break, had lunch, went and helped a neighbor, elderly neighbor, and purchased some long T-tools, and now I have the collar loose. So let me go ahead and do what I'm supposed to be doing. Now, when you take the steering wheel off, you're supposed to take the passenger side loose first, then the driver's side. When you put it on, you tighten the passenger side first, and then do the driver's side. Unfortunately, this is normal that those T25s on the bottom of the collar are not holding anything, so somebody needs to create a fix for that. Something to glue or screw on those things. I'm going to go ahead and do the steering wheel first, so I'm going to turn this thing like this. This is the easiest way to get those screws out. So I'll take this one out, then I'll take the one on the back of the top out. Okay, the airbag's off, and as you can see, it tells you to tighten the right hand screw first. I took the screw from under here that was on this little tag here, and I aligned the reel and put that screw up there so that my steering wheel situation don't unreel. Now I'm going to get an 18 millimeter and break this bolt loose. Okay, there's a lot of splines in this steering wheel. Usually people mark them. This one doesn't appear to have been marked. Nonetheless, it's not the one that I'm putting back on anyway. So I want to look at the angle of the steering wheel and put the replacement on the same way. If you don't put this steering wheel in right, tightening the right side down first, this airbag pad, you can damage the horn, and you got to have that reel pinned in so that don't come unraveled. So this is the big test to see if I put it in right. If the horn works, I'm good. If the horn doesn't work, I'm bad. Horn works. Okay, now to start the car and see if the SRS light goes out. I'm surprised it went out, but because you're supposed to disconnect the battery before you unplug any airbags. So let's see if I start the car if it'll come back on. Well, surprisingly, the SRS light is out. So maybe there's something going on I don't know about. Also, you heard the seatbelt deal ding when I started the car, and these lights came on up here, which tells me the ignition is probably fine. So I'm going to see if it shifts out of gear, because I didn't turn the key back. And it did shift out of gear, so the ignition is good to go. Now I'm going to put this collar on and move on to the next project. I'm going to go ahead and clean this footrest up and put that back in the carpet under where the driver's side is. Okay, the antenna's plugged in, and I could hear it going up and down when I shut the ignition off and the radio off. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this mast out and see if it needs to be replaced. It's not moving, so either it's broken or the teeth is tore up, so I'm going to fix that next. When I pulled the bolt off of it, none of the antenna mast is connected to it, so maybe it's down there somewhere. At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and pull the motor out and put the replacement in. I guess somebody could manually put this up and down if they wanted to, but it's supposed to be automatic, so automatic it will be. Yeah, you could actually put that up and down by hand. Okay, I have the antenna hooked up and going up and down. And there it is. Actually found a good used mast on a 960. So, got that. For today, last but not least, when I drove the car, I had maybe 1 pound of boost after I changed that hose on top of the intercooler. So now I'm going to block off the bypass valve and see if that helps my boost any. So your bypass valve is down here, and just in case that bypass valve is leaking, I'm going to crimp it, put a wire tie on it, and that'll block the bypass. If I don't get any good boost pressure after that, I'll pull all my intake pressure hoses and see if I can find any of those torn. Under here, I see that this mast airflow sensor is not attached to the box, and the hose there is loose, so I'm also going to secure those two things. Normally I pull this hose off of the bypass valve and block it, but for some reason this thing, on one end it seems so soft and weak, on the other end it seems really crusty, so I'm going to try to crimp it and put this zip tie on it and see if I get boost pressure then. Okay, I still have practically no boost, so I doubt that it's the blow-off valve. So I'm going to pull all the intake tubing and see if there's one of them that's torn or leaking, and then check the intercooler from there. If you feel that this information was useful, please like it and share it with your social media friends. You can subscribe to my channel so that you will get notifications of future videos that I post. You can follow me on Twitter, and if you need to contact me directly, please visit my website. And if you have any questions, leave them below, and someone or myself will reply to them. Again, thank you very much for watching.